Hey everyone, you alright? Hope you're well. Thanks for joining in on just turn the music down. I think it's a bit loud on the last couple of lives I was looking back on. Yeah, thanks for tuning in on Father's Day and all that lot. I know a lot of you are probably busy with family and stuff, or you should be. I know I've had a busy day. Basically, what have I done? I've done a bit of pressure washing. Nothing too hard, it's just with me Karcher. But I've did a bit last night and I've gone to another area of the garden. The main thing when I get done is a little patio, block paving patio area. That's turned out nice, hypoed it, all come out good. So I'm happy with that, with the Karcher, you know what I mean? That took about 5 hours altogether with all the setting up and clearing up and all that stuff. But it's come up good, so I'm happy. And then I've cooked pizzas for tea tonight. So I made the dough earlier in the day, using my calculator and working out the recipes with the heat and all that good stuff. Pizza's come out all right, so we've all eaten that. Sophie, my daughter, she's come back today. My wife picked her up this morning. They've flown back in from America with Kieran. I've had a holiday out there. And then Tuesday, I'm going to be home alone. My wife is going to take Rachel and David with her to go back with Sophie to Scotland because it's her birthday on the 20th. So Sophie's not alone. She'll be working. Kieran's here for the week with his mum. He's got a few things to sort out admin-wise as well. So that leaves with me and Matthew fending for ourselves and working. So I will be cooking pizzas every night with beer. That'd be my tea. So yeah, that's a busy day for me. I've obviously through the day had cards and some prezzies. I've got a few tins, so I'm happy with that. Happy man. So I hope everyone else out there, if you've had it, a good happy Father's Day. Anyway, I'm just going to go into some of the comments, welcome people in. There's a few people here before I was. So it's Rich at Washed Windows. Evening everyone, I follow Matt's channel, new to this one, so thought I'd introduce myself. I'm based in Hull. You are Rich, mate. I can't remember if it's about 3 or 4 years ago now. It was my last family holiday. We went to Hull, stayed on a converted barn, and yeah, had a week up there. It was nice. Had a look round Hull, went to is it a transport museum? I know there's an old bus and stuff in there. That was interesting. And I think nearby was one of the oldest pubs in Hull as well. So cheers for coming in, Rich. Thanks for coming across. If you've sort of seen Matt's channel and heard about mine, welcome, mate. Everyone here will be pleased to see you. All right, Nelly. You all right, Neil? How you doing, mate? I expect you've been busy as usual. All right, Paul. How you doing? Hi, Mark, mate. Sorry, just reading Nelly's. Thought you was going to say your wife is taking Rachel and David winter cleaning. No, she gets them to help me sometimes. Hi, Ched, mate. Thanks you can make it. Cheers, bud. Hi, Craig. You all right, mate? I saw you on Matt's live as well. Yeah, I hope everyone's all right anyway. That's the main thing. And having a good Father's Day. Can kind of relax now a bit. So like I said, I've eaten my pizzas. They come out all right. Although there was problems here and there. Sorry, my telly's doing weird things. I think the live's still going. Yes, it is. Where a couple of the pizzas were going wrong, and I just thought, if when they cook up in my pizza oven, it'll cook up all future pizzas. But luckily, I managed to pull it out of the bag, so I'm happy. Hi, Michael. You all right? Welcome, mate. Ched saying you're multitasking F1 on. I haven't seen the Formula 1, to be honest. Anyone else here Formula 1 fan? Or motorbike racing, that sort of thing? We're always multitasking, innit? I think it's in our nature. You can't sit still. So, yeah, it was mainly because of Ched. Put a comment because I think it was Michael. Forgive me, because I haven't had time to prepare myself. Neil saying Domino's tonight. So pizza, that's a good one. Father's Day as well. Can't go wrong with a pizza, Neil, mate. And a few beers. Happy days, isn't it? Ched suggested to basically do a live where we're talking about trying to get customers, social media, what do people do, that sort of thing. So I'll try and get me flipping live up actually, so I can remind myself if I can do such a thing. Just bear with me. Where am I going? I'm trying to look for stuff. I'm multitasking. We do it all the time, but I'm not the best. Right, almost there. So, yeah, I think it was... Oh, you're right, Michael. Cheers. Yeah, you're saying that was you. Let's get me back to the comment. Yeah, in the group, the Window Cleaners Hub on Facebook. Yeah, so you're multitasking, building a website, and watching me at the same time, or watching the live. That can be hard to do on your websites. It's because we're not web designers. It's not easy, is it? Even when you do all these things that are meant to make it easy, there's just so much. Like anything you do, there's more to it than what actually meets the eye. So we try and get in the weeds of it all, don't we, to understand it a bit better. But yeah, and then Ched decided, you know, come out with a good point saying, you know, why don't we talk about getting more customers, what people do to market their job. So that's what I thought I'd do for today's live, basically. See what people do. It's kind of tough, isn't it? It depends where you are, because you're either starting out or you've been going a while. And I think if you're starting out, you're looking for customers and you're trying to think what is the best way. And it kind of almost thinks like me, when you think you first started out, people will come flying to you, but it isn't. And it seems a slow build up, but obviously you need a certain amount of money each month, so the kind of pressure's on you. But then in time you build up, and then you get to the point where you're really busy and you haven't got capacity to take on more customers than what you need. But even when you're at that stage, it's quite hard, because people do come and go. People sadly pass away, or they move out of the area somewhere else, so you're going to lose customers. So you're always trying to take on customers, but it's trying to get the rate right, you know, of people coming in to match those that are leaving, really, to keep you ticking over. So yeah, I think we're just interested really on what people do to kind of like get customers. There's different things out there, really, different ways of doing it. I think the best one is going to be Google Business. We've talked about it before in here, and people come out some really good valid points as well. I definitely think Google Business is good. Like Michael's working on a website. So, you know, if you've got a website, that's good. I got one because I wanted a presence online. And I felt if customers go to look me up and see I got a website, they're going to think I'm more like legit rather than someone that just posts here and there on things like Facebook, although there's nothing wrong with that, excuse me. So that's why I wanted a website. But just because you got a website doesn't mean to say everyone's going to come flocking towards you. Word of mouth, I think, is the best way, but it takes time to build up a certain customer base, and the bigger your customer base, the more people are going to talk about you and recommend you, if you get what I mean. So it's trying to build up, and how do you maintain that? Because I think Michael was saying on one of the posts, he's saying, you know, is anyone feeling a bit downhearted? Because I think he said in a year he'd lost about 50 customers. However, he was pointing out he's got a really good round, and he's been going, was it 25 years, he said, Michael? So it's not like, you know, new, and just seemed a bit down. But I've also noticed a lot of my customers for the last over 2 years now have had the houses on the market. So there's a lot of for sale signs. And I said over a year ago to Matthew, saying the thing that's getting me worried is when the market shifts and people start to sell their houses better than what they have been over the last couple of years, you're going to suddenly possibly lose a lot of customers in one go, which is going to have an effect on you. So how do you combat that? So I was always taking on work, but I've got to the point where I think I'm at maximum capacity. And I suppose it's all right to push them boundaries in the summer because you've got the longer daylight in the day, but it becomes a problem in the winter with the short days. You also hope by that time people may have left and it kind of sorts itself out. You don't want to be left too short. And I had wondered if perhaps, like for Michael, maybe people's houses have suddenly been selling, so you've had quite a sharp decline in the amount of customers you've got because they're moving. But then the other side is when people move, they tend to ask you for your card because they want to leave it behind for the next person that's buying their house, so they can recommend you because they like you and they like to have a list for someone coming into the new house that these are the people they've used, if you get what I mean, kind of like a welcome pack. So it goes two ways sometimes. You either lose customers or you replace them with the new one. And then the other way it can go sometimes is the person moving is not moving that far in your catchment area, plus you're taking on the new person that's moved into the new house. So where you thought perhaps you were going to lose lots of customers, you actually gained more than you can handle. So it can go that way as well. It's kind of weird. But yeah, just wondered what people do. Google Business, I think, is definitely, it's free. It's a good one. That ranks obviously on the Google page when someone's looking for a window cleaner or happens to mention, say, your company name or whatever. So it's going to rank there. Plus, like with Michael, if he's got Google Business plus his website, now that's 2 places he's going to appear in the search. And then if you've got a Facebook page, you're going to appear there as well. And then, like, I use Nextdoor and all the other social media outlets. So the more you're using, the more chances you're going to come up on the page, basically. So I'm just going to go to some of the comments to keep up with these. Yeah, just sorry to catch up. As Ched said, Google is supposed to be looking at reviews more, as you can't control them, so Google believes the reviews. That's a good point as well, because anyone can make up reviews on their own website, whereas when you get a review from a customer on Google Business, it's from the customer, so it carries some weight with it. So I would, if you use or don't use Google Business, look up stuff on YouTube on how to use it, because I'm not an expert, but there's a link you can copy on Google Business and I put it inside my invoices. So when I say been round today, blah blah, and how much it is, and then it says why not leave us a review, and then I copy and paste the link in to my Google Business page where people can leave a review, and that people do leave reviews that way as well, so that carries more weight as well. So that's a good point Ched's brought out. So definitely have Google Business. It's good, and I think it's like a website. If you're constantly changing little pages, Google knows that website's active. And it's the same with Google Business. If you put regular posts on there, regular pictures, that sort of thing, it will push them more rather than if you didn't do anything. So being active is going to help. So Michael's just saying he's had a website for over 70 years. It ain't the golden goose. Yes, 25 years. Yeah, window cleaning. So, oh God, I haven't been going nowhere near that long. Like I said, I've been going 7, turning towards 8 years. 25 years. Jesus, Michael, you've probably been through so much things that go against you in those 25 years. And to still be going, you've got to be doing a hell of a lot of things right. Which I think is one of the comments I sort of put in the group for you. But I suppose we question things, don't we? We go through these ups and downs. But it's good in the group that I suppose people like to say supportive things to each other. I think as well, because I can't remember, Michael, did you say about 50 or 50? I think I'm 49. But I think as well, when you get to that age, some of your friends have passed away in that time, and it gets you thinking more about life in general, doesn't it? And if we're constantly just about working, you do think you should live more rather than, don't work, live to work, work to live, that sort of thing. So I think it gets your mind thinking sometimes a bit that way, and you question things, but questioning things is good. Cole's just saying Facebook ads are a good way to build around quickly. Once you know what you're doing with it. Yeah, which is true. Like, I haven't got a clue when it comes to Facebook ads. I had a go on there, but I was literally spending like £7 a day. And like, if you watch Uncleanable's podcast, you might as well have a pint with that money and get something for it. Whereas I think Ryan, he's had 50 customers in about 3 days or a week, I can't remember. But he's paying £80 a day It's not Facebook ads, that's with Google ads. So I think to see some success, you've got to spend a lot of money, which is fine if you've got the money to spend for it. I look at it like it's like going to the horse racing, gambling. If you've got X amount of money that you're prepared to just hand over and lose, then you can gamble, can't you? But if you need that money, you're not going to gamble it. You're going to use that because you need it for other things. And that's the kind of way I see it with Google ads or Facebook advertising. For me, I've just built slowly. It's all been word of mouth. And then, like I say, I've got to a point where I'm having to say no. But it doesn't matter what journey you are, beginning or all the way up to when you finish window cleaning. It's getting customers is always something that's on your mind, isn't it? I mean, look at me. I'm thinking about I need a second van to take on more customers or just to make my life a bit easier. But to get that second van, you need a certain amount of guaranteed money coming in, really. But everyone's different. We've all got different circumstances. Neil's just saying, personally find social media is not good for long-term customers. Google Business, a decent website and referrals bring in the best quality customers. Social media is a great way to showcase your work, which is a good point. Mark and Paul, I follow their social medias and they're always putting good content out on there, and it's made me question me. I started trying to put a bit out on there, but what it was getting is people asking me, can you clean my windows? But I can't, I'm too full. And then I just think people think, well, why put a post on your social media if you're too full? So I've kind of stopped doing it again. But I think I should be doing that more perhaps for Google Business. But yes, social media is good for showcasing your work. I think just showing people what you do. Like Jake Smelt is his YouTube channel, pressure washing. And if you follow him, he does loads of his social media and it gets him lots of work. And he's quite busy, whereas a lot of people within his sort of like circle of friends and in his Discord and that are saying how quiet they are. And Jake's just saying he thinks he's lucky because he's just posting stuff regularly on social media. But obviously with pressure washing, you're not getting regular work off that customer every month like you do with window cleaning, if you get what I mean. So he's having to push it that way to get the work. For window cleaning, it can be a bit different, isn't it? But yeah, I think having a good presence on social media can be good. I agree with Nelly. What Neil's saying, that it attracts short-term work. Because I found when I was putting stuff on Facebook, I was posting in the local groups in the villages near me, and I was getting lots. This is when I was first starting out for the first couple of years. I was getting good response, but it was always one-off cleans. So you go to all that effort and it just turns out to be a one-off clean, not regular. So you're kind of disheartened. But I found the busier I got, the more customers I had. And the less I was putting these adverts up on the Facebook groups, the more I was getting, the better, as Neil saying, long-term customers, because they're all through referrals and family and friends of customers already had. And they turn into long-term customers. So yeah, I see where he's coming from on that, from my personal experience anyway. Ched's just saying he started with leaflets and that worked out about 1% inquiries. I've heard a lot of people say this as well, and like when I started, because I wasn't busy out window cleaning, that's what I said to my wife at the time. I said, I'm not going to sit at home waiting for the phone to ring. If I've got a clean in or two cleans in that day, once I've done them, I'm going to drive around in my van to be seen, because it was all sign written. And I was also targeting areas obviously local to me, putting out leaflets, knocking on doors. If there's no answer, I put a leaflet through the door. If there's an answer, I just ask, have you got a window cleaner? And just being polite, really, showing my face. And that was quite effective. More to do with the knocking on the door rather than just handing out a leaflet, but we did get replies back from the leaflets. And I think as well, when the did I say Untouchables, Uncleanables podcast, saying when they've had people on their podcast, you know, when it comes to leaflets, it is a low number, but what they find is they push them out like 4 times a year, the same areas, and they find that quite effective that way. But again, to be able to do that, you've got to have the money to pay for this and afford to possibly lose, if that makes sense. Ched's also said if you open Gemini AI, so you've got ChatGPT and then another one similar to that's called Gemini. Ched's told me that's better as well, and I've been using that. Ask how I can improve my Google business page, and obviously put your business name in there, and it will give you a lot of recommendations. And it's not just your Google business page, you can also as well, like for Michael, is put down your address to your website as well and ask like how can I improve my SEO, things like that, and it will tell you what's good and what perhaps could be good for improvements. So yeah, using AI and bearing with it could drum me up good results as well. Craig's just saying I've just printed flyers with a price guide on it, not sure if that's going to work in my favour. Yeah, I haven't got a price guide because I know they're going to change. I did think about having a prices on my website, but then I thought it's just telling, you say local competition, but to be honest, any window clean I see, I'll always say hello to. But I just felt I was giving away my secrets, so to speak. And especially in the early days, I'm trying to figure out what my prices are. A lot of people have told me I'm way too low on here, and I've eventually put them up, but I say even then I'm probably lower than what a lot of people would say go for. But you do you at the end of the day. You just got to look at your figures, haven't you, and do what is needed to make it work. Because you do a lot of hard work window cleaning. Ain't easy running your own business no matter what you do, and you do it all because you want to. So you go through these hard times and push through them rather than where most people would give up. So you do what you got to do, and you learn things and just do things that suit you basically. But it is interesting to know what other people do. But yeah, with the price guide, like Matt was saying on his live, because on his website, if you go there, he's similar, got a price guide. I don't think that's a bad thing, Craig, especially if you've got it on your website and you know it's going to be fixed for a few months. I mean, you can always change it, can't you? But when you're putting your flyers out, it's like it's a campaign, isn't it? So, and unfortunately with these things, you have these ideas and you're not sure whether it's going to work or not. And to be honest, there's only one way to find out, and that's just do it. And the more we hesitate, you're not going to do it and not going to find out. So, you know what I mean? Just give it a shot, see what happens. And at least with a price guide, like a lot of people say they use it, is you're not having to go out doing the quoting face to face, which if you're quite busy and you find hard to find time for, then perhaps doing the price guide is the best way for you. Whereas where I am, I'm quite rural and the houses are so many different sizes. You could say 3-bedroom semi-detached house, and it could be about 10 different sizes around here. So we always like to quote in person. And everything's quirky. And when you ask people how many windows do you have, guarantee what they tell you and what's there are two different things. And it isn't done on purpose. It's just they stood in one room trying to count in their head as opposed to running around the house counting. And I know this because when I was saying to my wife when I first started, how many windows do we have? We both come up with different figures, and when I ran around the house and counted them, well, that was completely different to what we both said. So, you know, I get it. But yeah, a price guide is a good thing to have, and if you're happy that you're going to lose or you're going to win, but in the end it evens out, it's probably a good way to go, Craig. I know that's what Matt does. And some of the really popular big window cleaners out there, like Prize Window Cleaning, does the same thing, which is why I think a lot of people kind of copied that. Michael's just saying, I think Google ranks Google reviews higher, but at least Facebook, you can see it's a real person. As Google, I can't speak, Google. I've had a few ciders, basically, it feels Google isn't wholly accurate. So there's two different sides to a coin all the time, isn't there? Michael's just saying he's 50 years old. Okay, mate. Yeah, I'm 49. Probably feel about 70 some mornings. I mean, me. Excuse me. So it's probably good to spread your bets, I think, with a bit of social media, a bit on your website, and then also Google reviews. It's trying to be everywhere, isn't it? But it makes it harder. But I suppose when you're a bit everywhere, what we'll find is you're testing different things and you find what works for you, because everyone's slightly different, and where you get more success in is where you're going to put more of your resources in, so to speak. Sorry, technical saying, how many customers did you have after 1, 6 and 12 months after starting your journey? Wow, that's a good question. I don't know if anyone else can answer this. Sorry, you're right, Matt. Don't worry, Matt. You're all right, buddy. I'm just working my way through the comments. How many customers did you have after 1, 6 and 12 months after starting your journey? That is a really good question. If anyone else can answer it, stick them in your comments below. I don't think I can. I'd have to look through Squeegee or Zero, I think, or between the two, and try and look at if I can find that kind of information. But going off the top of my head, don't think I can actually give you a figure. But I think within my first 3 months, because when I left the military, I saved up enough of my what's called leave. We call it gardening leave. So just think, I left the military and become a civvy, but because I was on leave, I was still getting paid. So for my first 3 months as being a civvy, I was being paid by the forces. So in that 3 months, I knew I had to get enough customers so that once the military pay stopped and I was on my pension, because that's immediate in the military, where when you've done your time, that and plus what I could earn had to equal what I was being paid. And I don't know how, but I managed to do that. There was no secret. I think it was just head down and go. And my wife had a job at the time as well, so we had a bit of leave room. But you just knew in the first few months, first year, it's going to be a bit tough. But I did hit that target, I think, within the 3 months. However, my outgoings were extremely low. Then as time goes on, your outgoings start to get a bit bigger because your customer base is growing. So I couldn't really give you figures there, mate. But I would probably say my first 3 years was quite, compared to now, low. Then after 3 years, it started to grow quite quick. And I think the reason why it grew quite quick after that is because you've been around for 3 years, so you've kind of put your feet on the ground. People seen you about, people know you're going to be here for the long term. But I also think because I had a certain amount of customers by then, more people are talking about it, so the word spreads quicker than when there's a small group of customers. And that's kind of like how I grew. I hope that kind of makes sense, mate. Michael's just saying, I think now it's a bigger pond and far more fish. You have to make serious gains if you're paying for advertising that you'd want 4 times what you'd spend. Yeah, so there's more people taking up window cleaning probably, but there is more customers out there, so probably much. I don't know if anyone's looked into this. Hasn't really changed. No worries, Mark. I like looking at your content, mate. But going back to Michael, yeah, it's has anyone else got any of their thoughts on this? Because I haven't been going a long time. It just feels like 7 years. But there's been times I've gone to Morrison's to go and use the toilet and that. And it's funny, isn't it? You park up your van and next to you is already a window cleaner and he's getting out. And I sometimes laugh, imagine that customers think, I can't even get a window cleaner, and right in front of me I've got 2 vans parked up. They get out and say hello, and then I find out that they've just started up. So obviously I just introduce myself and just chat away, give them words of encouragement if I feel they need it. But just chat and say hello, really. It's good networking and you help each other out. But I often find it's someone who's been working for someone for quite a while and they've decided to go on their own. And they're just starting up. And I just give them, when I started, these are the problems I had. But if you just put your head down, you kind of work through it and you get there. And I'm still here and I'm enjoying it. That sort of thing. But yeah, there's definitely, I think, more people taking this up, and I don't know if it's because people are losing jobs. I mean, when you look at other people who've done their YouTube channels, they'll explain they've been window. I mean, Michael, you've done it for 25 years, mate. You've been through recessions and all sorts. So your window cleaning is quite strong, really, when other people might have these jobs, but sometimes they get laid off. And there's people perhaps been laid off and thought, sod it, I'm going to have a go at doing this. But there's loads and loads and loads of houses being built up. I know they're going up all the time near me. And I've said to Matthew, there's a big estate down there. It'd be nice if we went and cleaned up there, because you could spend probably a whole day doing a load of houses in one little estate if you got them. But you can't do that when you're really busy and you're really full. So the opportunity's there perhaps for someone else. Well, like I said, if I was grown and got another van and all that stuff. But I think personally, you've got to charge right, haven't you? Because how can you pay someone to work for you, but they're going to use that money to make a living and pay their way bringing up a family? Because it's hard. It's hard to do that. But people do it. They're bigger companies and that. But for the likes of me and that, you kind of do it for yourself, don't you? And sometimes the margins are tight. I mean, they've been really tight. I've had it where I've said to my wife, sometimes it's not till this last day of the month that I've managed to break even. When you've had, you know, days you've lost because of the weather and that. Now, because I put my prices up a bit better, I've got a bit quicker so I can do more cleans in a day. You're a bit more comfortable, but it's still a fine line, isn't it? So how people do it to pay people enough money to get them to stay and work for you, rather than that headache of trying to find people, replace people as they leave because they're setting up. But yeah, I agree with Mark. In a way, it's a big pond. There's more fish in it. But then again, there's more houses, you know. Paul's just saying, I've been using an app website called Buffer. I've not heard of that, which makes it easy to schedule social media posts. I'm trying to post a couple of things each week. Whizbeach on my mind. Yeah, Paul, I've seen you're quite good at, like Mark, posting regular content out on your social media. So Buffer, that is worth a look, isn't it, for everyone, I suppose? That could be a top bit of Jen, those that need it. Right, I've just had a look on Google. So this is the one, isn't it, Paul? Buffer, build your audience on your social, your system for consistent content creation. So you've got features, channels, pricing, and a blog. So it's free forever to connect up to 3 channels, and this is what you get: 10 scheduled posts per clean or channel. Refill at any time, 100 ideas, 1 user account, AI assistant, basic. So it's a good thing to get you going, and it's not stupid. $5 a month, and obviously you're getting far more stuff with it, all up to $10 a month. So it's not stupidly priced neither, is it? That's a good shout there, Paul. Sorry, Paul's just saying, I think it depends on the area too. I'm in the northwest, and I feel like people don't Google for window cleaners, so I suppose as well, I mean, you look at your kids, they're always on their phones. If, say, they've got to wait 5 minutes until, I don't know, EastEnders is on, they just whip the phone out and use that for 5 minutes to waste the time till they get to do what they want to do. So people are just browsing, and everyone's got that short-term memory. So I think like shorts, TikTok, that sort of thing is popular. So yeah, I suppose if you're putting stuff on social media, again, it's like leaflets coming around every so many months, I suppose. So I suppose it could be a generation thing, couldn't it? Paul saying he finds the leaflets are good. Yeah, Ched, I use A6 leaflets, but very thick cardstock, so they don't just fold up when you're posting them. I think it stands out a bit as well for the customer when they get it. I find A6 is good because it doesn't take up too much room in your van, and it's easy to put through, whereas A5 looks like everyone uses A5. So again, A6 is a bit smaller, And also I find if you're going to throw it in the bin, it's a bit cheaper to use as well. But I suppose like where you save on the size, you can spend on the quality of the card, like you're saying. Ched's saying, ask AI how to improve your website, yeah, for SEO and customers, as it then gives user interface tips. Ched told me that and I tried it as well, and it came up with some good things. So I'm currently going through some of my pages, rebuilding them. I'm going to redo my website page by page, and I'm working my way through it. Oh, sorry, Ched, what was that to? That was good going, Rob. What did you do? Is that with the building up my customers or something within 3 years, or within the 3 months, sorry, to try and get the money that I needed for once I left the military? You'll have to put it in the comments, Ched. I'll try and catch up and get down to them. Matt's just saying, as mentioned yesterday evening, I don't advertise anymore because I have enough work at the moment, which is a nice problem to have. I'm pretty much the same. Like I said, I find with the social media, putting stuff on Facebook and that, it's not that I have many followers on Instagram and the other ones, but it's kind of nice, like Ched was saying, showcase what you're doing. And I think if you do have customers that follow you on these socials, they perhaps might like you showcasing where you've cleaned one of their windows, that sort of thing, and people just see what you do. But I do find I get inquiries and I'm having to say no, so I'm kind of trying to rein it back in, but I feel like you have to put something out there. Matt's just saying as well, to technical, I think I had 5 customers in the first month, okay, 50 after 6 months. Oh yeah, that's when you was working. Then you went full time after 10 months with 120 customers. Then it grew from there. Paul saying that's it. They charge the more channels you use, but I just post to Facebook, Google and Instagram. So you're just using 3, right? I got you. So buffer could be a good thing to centralize everything, to do it in one place, and I take it pushes them out to your social channels, which is not bad at all, is it? Oh, so you got the free one. It's a good way of learning, isn't it? And obviously the more you need, then it's worth paying because you can afford to as well. And it's not stupid price, I didn't think. Neil's saying it can be hard when you're employing, you have to keep them earning, yeah. So they've got to get out earning you money, but it's also earning them money. But they've got to earn enough, haven't they, to bring in, so it brings you personally some money. And then you've got to combat the days where you can't work. It's hard, isn't it? But you've got to get it right, like I said, so they happy to come in. I mean, to be honest, a lot of people are probably happy to do the window cleaning and not have the hassle of trying to run a business. And it's kind of lifestyle. You just got to go through, I think, a few people to find the right one. And it's hard, isn't it, when people leave in the lurch and then you've got to try and keep all your customers happy, even though you're kind of like undermanned, understaffed, until you get the balance right. And I think no matter how good you are, that's a process that you're always going to go through. Certainly something I've been sort of thinking that it's going to be a hassle. I'm lucky because it's my son Matthew, and if my other son David wants to move in and do this because he can't get a job, but at some point they're probably going to go their own way in life, you know what I mean? But I suppose that's just a problem I have to sort out at the time. Michael saying, anyone not got a website? I'm in the process of building a new site via 123 Reg. That's who I started with, but I'm with Hostinger now. It will build a homepage via AI, less than 1 minute, for £5.99 a month plus the hosting fee. Yeah, it's pretty impressive what a lot of them can do now, isn't it, really? And it's nice just to be able to put a website on the side of your van. Gives you a bit of clout as well, doesn't it? The other thing as well with these websites is like I've got the domain name crystalcleanwindows.co.uk. You can have an email, and that is your email just with your name in front. So Robert Cohn at crystalcleanwindows.co.uk would be better than Robert Cohn at hotmail.com. Me personally thinks that. So sometimes I see stuff from people's vans and think, wow, they look really good. Then you see their email address. But whether it puts customers off or not, I don't know. But it might do with some people. So that's a good thing about having a website, is you can do that. Chez just saying, yes, building up your income within 3 months. How did I do it? To be honest, I don't really know. I think it was just me getting out in the van. Whenever I wasn't working, I was pushing out leaflets in the villages nearest to me. And obviously my family were excited. So my wife, my kids were going out weekends. I'd give them leaflets and a bit of money, and they'd go and do one road, I'd do another road. So we tried to swamp as many of that village as we could in a short space of time. And once we'd done that, I'd be moving on to the next one, and obviously I'd be doing window cleaning, going out and doing quotes in the meantime. So I think it was the leaflets, but like I said, it wasn't just putting leaflets through the door. We knocked on the doors as well in the hope that someone might be in. But obviously Monday to Friday I knew most people would be out, but there's a mixed bag of people here who are working, are retired, that sort of thing. And then, like I've always said to Matt, work leads to work. So sometimes it could be near the end of the day, you've not had a lot of success, someone says, can you come and do a quote? You've done it, they've said yes, you're thinking brilliant, and then they're like, actually, if you go around the corner, it could be a member of family there, and you're thinking, I just want to go home now. But then you go around there, quote them, and then they've referred you to another 2 people, and then you get lucky like that sometimes. But if you couldn't have been asked, you'd have lost all that, if that makes sense. So I think it's a bit of luck like that as well went my way, but it's mainly through leaflets. I had a website from day one. I went company's house, I think I've said it before, set up a limited company for my name, but put it in a dormant mode because I was sole trader. I trademarked my name, logo. I got my van sign written, and I got a website. I all did that day one before I even went out and cleaned a window. So I had all that behind me in a uniform, and I was putting stuff on like Facebook, Nextdoor, but Facebook was getting me the wrong people at the start. Nextdoor was good, but it was mainly through leaflets and just, I suppose, like being a policeman, being out on the streets and walking up and saying hello to people. So you're kind of engaging with people and being that way. Being seen, as the Queen would say it. Being seen is believing. So that's what I would say, Ched. I really pushed hard on it because I knew I had to. Because after 3 months I wasn't getting any money from the military, and I was going solo. But luckily I had my pension anyway. And just by some chance I managed it. And just by, like everyone says, just do a good job. I mean, obviously I was slow window cleaning the first year, easy. And I was over cleaning. I've been over cleaning for about 3 or 4 years. But just by, I suppose, doing a good job, people see you doing a good job and that you care, goes a long way. And then you get walk-ups, don't you? Just off by the chance, a neighbour happens to be home, comes out, how much to clean mine? And it goes from there, I suppose. But yeah, I'd say mainly it was knocking on doors and putting leaflets through doors, both going on at the same time, mate. Michael's just saying, very easy to build, also using Ched's IA recommendations are with the website and using like Gemini to ask for improvements. Yeah, it's going to be a lot easier than what it was before. You used to do so much time researching, now you can just ask a question and get answers in minutes. So I just seen your next comment, not as bright as Ched. I don't think anyone is. Ched's full of useful information. He's just saying you're not bright. I think you are. Matt's just saying, Michael, I did your whole website, yeah, with an AI builder, with Hostinger. What I found with, when I was looking in Hostinger, because I brought from my website, they don't exist anymore, they've gone. I think they're called ID3 Themes from Canada. Paid 60 quid for a complete website template, and it come with instructions on how you can change things around. So I did that and I've stuck with it. And I think when you go with some of these AI builders, I believe, like I'm with Hostinger like Matt is, but if I did the AI builder, if I went to another hoster, I can't take the website with me, I'd have to do the whole thing again. Whereas because I'm using my template, I can keep that and take it to any provider. However, I think they do look smart with these AI builders because they're going to be more modern, whereas mine's quite old. But it does the job and I'm busy enough. But yeah, I think these AI builders are quite good. You're going to be more up to date with what's hip and hop. Matt's just saying to Neil, do you give them bonuses or for no callbacks? With your staff, like what's your bonus sort of scheme? I know some people don't, they give people, if they complete all the work set in the day, say, I don't know, an extra £10 a day. If they get a new customer, they can keep the first clean for them. And obviously onwards it's going into your business, things like that. Like I said, no callbacks as well at the end of the week, get a bonus, that sort of thing. It's all stuff to top people's wages up, isn't it? And give them an incentive. And Neil's saying, the hardest part of employing is finding the right caliber of employees. Yeah, the right person. Like I said, you've got to go through, haven't you, people, to find the right one. And I think when you do find the right one, it can be down to circumstances. If someone moves closer to family at the other end of the country, you're going to lose someone who's really good as well, aren't you? Not because they've had enough or anything like that. It's just circumstances. So I think it takes ages to find like the good one, and then when you do, you don't seem to have them long enough. It's not because they don't want to do it, it's just, like I said, circumstances. So it must be really hard to juggle when you've got a company and employing people, I think, at the same time keeping your customers happy. But I suppose when you find the right thing, the right that works for you, it just works. I mean, you've got the right person and they're not going to have to move away or anything like that. You've probably got someone for life, haven't you, really? And they're happy doing what they're doing. And if someone's happy doing what they're doing, they're going to be good, aren't they? Someone who does it just for the money is not always going to be top notch. Just saying, I do think businesses with Gmail or Yahoo addresses look unprofessional. Customers probably not thinking or noticing it. Yeah, it's what I think when I see it, especially on the van, and you're thinking they're doing miles better than me. Then I just see the email address. I kind of smile at myself. But how many people fall for it, you know? But then again, how many people even bothered about my van and what it says on there? It's a bit of a mouthful, to be honest. But I do think, because I got told from day one when I was leaving the military, that's the sort of thing you should be doing. So that's what I did. Matt's just saying to Ched, I have a Gmail account and it's never put anyone off, not even the large brands and companies. You do see plenty, I suppose, of tradesmen out there, painter and decorators with it, don't they? And it probably has some factor somewhere, I would say. But if you've got a good name, a good reputation, being recommended a lot, which goes back to word of mouth being the best way of getting customers, nothing matters what people perceive, because they're getting recommendations from someone they trust. And they know if someone recommends you, that they wouldn't do it willy-nilly. They do it because they think you are worth recommending, you are good. So that is worth its weight in gold recommendations. So that probably puts off things as well, if that kind of makes sense. So I suppose getting customers, the best way is word of mouth, but the hard thing is you've got to be established for that to work. Well, like I said, the larger your customer base, the more the jungle drums are banging away, shouting out your name. Yeah, it's as you're saying, Matt, nice to see. You're just saying your customers don't email you. I suppose they'll text you and stuff like that. Because people use what's convenient, don't they? I don't know about, do you guys find, like, I know when I get my customers, they can have your phone number, and sometimes you get a landline number, and then I say, have you got a mobile number, please? Because we like to send text messages out. You'd like to think everyone has a mobile number or an email address, but there are some people out there, especially some of my older customers, who do not have mobiles and they do not have emails neither, just a home phone number. So we have to make a note for them once, so instead of they get a message, they get a phone call. But it's just trying to remember those. But once you've been through your rounds a few times, it's easily managed, you know. Thankfully we have not got very many like that, but there are people out there. Same with payments. I'd love to have got everyone on Go cardless, but I would probably have not grown so quick because I'd be being too picky. And I do have a lot of people who don't like paying by direct debit, don't trust bank transfers, that sort of thing. Especially my elderly customers, they like to pay cash, and they are very distraught if you turn up and they're not going to be there, because they like to hand you the money as well, just so they know you've got it. And it's just the way they are, so I accept that as well. So yeah, it's a bit hard. Mark's is saying you've never had any issues with your Gmail either. Sorry, hang on a minute. Sorry, hang on. Just ring him. Give him a ring. Probably not. If not, just give him a text. I'm sure if he knows his whiskey's on the way, he won't miss it. Sorry. Ches is saying to Matt, I don't get very many emails at all, so I take it most people get inquiries through text messages or I suppose social media like Facebook Messenger and that. I get a few that way as well, even though me and Teresa are trying to get everyone to be more centralized with the text message, because sometimes you, in the back of your head, you know you've got to say something to someone, but you can't remember what channel of communication is what you go through. You have to really think about it. It's easier if everything was done in one place. I know another good one people have mentioned and some of my customers like to use is, if I can remember it, I know it's green color, WhatsApp, there we go, is WhatsApp. Because sometimes I see the notification, because it's green, I think it's in messages and I can't find it. Then I'm later on like, oh, it's in WhatsApp. So WhatsApp's probably another good one as well, because people can make phone calls, can't they? Do pictures and it doesn't cost anything. He's just saying to me, apart from a couple of each day from SEO experts offering page 1 on Google. Yeah. Matt's just saying I get them, and the ones that can get me 1 million subs on YouTube. Yep. Does anyone else get all those emails coming in like, we can do this for you, we can do that? As soon as it starts, I just instant delete, don't even read them half the time. Matt's just saying you can put my website up if you want to show the AI builder. Let me have a look. Almost pressed the wrong button on my Stream Deck. Hosting is what we want. So I just got to verify I am a human. Sign in. Can't sign and log in. I think I'll sign in with Google. There we go. Job done. Sorry earlier, as the missus coming in, I got my dad a bottle of whiskey for Father's Day, 1 litre through Amazon. They tried to deliver it this morning. My dad's not very well, so he didn't answer the door. So we just got a message saying unable to deliver it. So I rang him up to say Happy Father's Day. He got stuff that come from another delivery. I told him no, the one you got notice from Amazon was for your bottle of whiskey, but because you didn't answer the door, it's unable to deliver. And I think what they do is they just reimburse me the money because it's alcohol, they can't leave it at the door. We've just had a message come through saying they're going to attempt to deliver it. So I was just trying to say to Teresa, because I'm doing it live, can you tell me, Dad, it's on its way? So I'm sure he would not miss a bottle of whiskey. But anyway, just going back, sorry, to Matt. This is Hostinger, their website. I can't remember where their AI builder is now, Matt. Okay, websites. Taking a while to load up, in which case I'll have a swig of me Father's Day cider. It's obviously going to take ages for me to load up. Gremlins in the system. see what happens. But yeah, like I say, I do mine with a template and upload it that way. But you can have an AI builder, like no doubt most of the website builders are all the same. But it's a way of getting your website up and running fast, isn't it? So just going back to comments as well, Neil's just saying to you, Matt, you've probably seen it. No, don't believe in bonuses. You shouldn't have to pay people twice for doing their job. I do pay above average, so you expect quality workmanship anyway. I do pay a bonus though if they bring in new customers, which is a fair one. And I suppose as well, it's like when I was in the military, your commanders, which is your corporal, sergeants and up and all that kind of stuff, they would always say, if you look after the blokes will look after you. So again, with like Neil saying, pay them a good wage, they're going to look after you. And I know Neil does a lot behind the scenes where he shouldn't be perhaps hands on tools, but he does it in order to help his team out here and there, which I'm sure is really appreciated as well. So he's going to get the best out of them that way as well. Michael's saying you had a pro email, now got a Gmail one, but it's only direct contact. Only with 123 reg, didn't you say, Michael? Do you get like an email address or domain with that so it copies your website? Jed's just saying on Squeegee, I put hashtag call in the notes. That's a good one. Sorry, mate. Yeah, it's a hashbang. For those who don't know, if you're not on Squeegee, you have a section in the notes. And if you do the hash and the exclamation mark, if I've got that right, they call it a hashbang. What happens is when you're on like see the day plan of the work you got for the day, you'll see this hashbang and the note. So what you're saying is you put call, then you know that reminds you that you've got to give the customer a ring because, for example, they haven't got email or text messages and they prefer a call on the landline. See, simple answers are always the best, aren't they? I can't believe we've never thought of that one, Ched. You wait till I tell me missus. Cheers for that one, mate. It's a good heads up. Mark's is saying I've got one customer with no internet, phone or email. You just turn up and knock on the door before you start, so your fingers are crossed they're going to be in, and you know that person as well probably writes down, if you've got them as 5 because you do 5 or 10, they just put down the next time you expect to call round as well. And they're the ones, aren't they? Say, how come you're late? Or are you late? Yeah, I've lost a couple of days because the eye wins. Hey, Ched, don't worry about it. Happy Chinese, mate. Get the money back tomorrow when I clean the windows. Happy Father's Day, mate. Yeah, so getting customers and all that kind of stuff, I say, it's different avenues, isn't there? And I don't think there's ever going to be a happy medium. You're always going to have not enough or too many. You're never going to have that sweet spot. And if you do have the sweet spot, it's probably not going to last long. Because like I say, we do lose customers for whatever reason. And you're going to always get people asking you here and there. But definitely word of mouth, I think, is the best way to get your customer base. And they're always going to be good customers and probably long-term customers. Sorry, Jed, mate, just seen your comment. Enjoy your Chinese, buddy. And yeah, word of mouth is, I would say, the best. And what you do find sometimes as well, isn't it? You get overwhelmed at times when, say you're cleaning someone and they'll say, my window cleaner's retired, but can you clean my mum's? And can you clean? They all have the same window cleaner. So when you're full, and the next thing you know, you've got 5 customers in one go asking for you to clean the windows. And they've been watching over the years clean, so they know you're regular and you turn up because you say clean someone opposite, that sort of thing. So you get people that way sometimes. Sorry, just in a comment from Matt, I've just had £100 conservatory roof bonus clean added to tomorrow's list after texting them tonight. Nice one, mate. It's nice when you got room to fit them in. It's hard when you haven't got the room and They're really keen for you to do it and you're keen to do the job. I'm always like that. I know I've got some quotes to do tonight. I've got 1, 2, about 4. I've said to Teresa, before we go to bed, we've got to do the quotes so Monday we can send them out, because they've asked for quotes, and if you don't respond quickly, I think it comes across like you don't want the work. It's not a fact that you're really, really busy and you're finding it hard to get the work in, you know. That's a bonus. Oh, sorry, Matt's just saying, I don't have room, and you know how much I love conservatory roofs. Mate, I'd clean it for you. I like conservatory roofs. I don't mind doing them. I do sometimes, but at the end I'm really happy with what I've done. Shame I'm not round the corner from you and I could get all my kids to do all my work. But if it's priced right though, Matt, it's worth doing, buddy. And then you might get a regular clean out of it as well. Like I say, work leads to work. That's what I've always said. There's a lot of people these days, don't they, say it's really hard to find a window cleaner. I mean, I've had customers tell me when I've gone to do a quote and I've said, oh, it's this much. They've said, yes, I'll be around on such day to do it. They've said, okay, that's fine, because I've explained I'm really busy. Then when I turn up, they look really shocked and say, do you know what? Once I've finished the clean, I've had this comment a few times, you're the first window cleaner that's turned up and actually said what he's going to do. And I've laughed going, what do you mean? I said, I'll clean your windows. And he goes, no, you've actually turned up to do it. The amount of times they've done quotes, accepted it, and the guy's not even turned up. And at first I couldn't believe it, but I can kind of understand it in a way if you're really too busy. However, I've always said, if I'm not going to go round to do anything anymore, I'm not going to not just go. I will have the courtesy to explain to the customer I can't come round and why. I wouldn't just do that. But it could be more common what we think. But yeah, getting customers, Google business, you've got website, your social media, word of mouth, definitely. I think speaking to Neil when I was at the expo, saying about as well, a good one he does, is say a new building estate's being opened up and being built. He goes to the show house and just says, we will clean the show house windows for you free of charge if, and hands a load of leaflets to him. You put these through the doors, and when someone kind of like moves into a house, you let me know they're moving in so I can go round and knock on the door and ask whether like the windows cleaned. And he's found that really good as well. There's lots of little things there, isn't it, that you could do in there. I mean, does anyone here do like I was thinking about perhaps adding pressure washing? But I think with this, I'm gonna need, the only way I can make life easy is get a second van. Trying to put that together. And I was thinking about it, do pressure washing, but I think just stick with the windows and what I already do, the gutters and fascia softs and gutters, and see how that goes. Because I want an easier life, really, like we all do. I mean, my first 4 years, I was working weekends to get the money, because to make the bank balance right, you know, when you're waiting for money and all that kind of stuff. I was doing whatever it needed to take to make ends meet. And as a family sort of like said, stop working weekends, so I have. But it's that crazy sometimes. Like I said, I'm surprised how much I've lost work to these gutter days. So I'm going to have to do gutter days on a Saturday. But I was trying to explain to him, you're just going to have to suck it up and think, right, springtime, autumn time, that's just how it's got to be. Any other time in there, it'll be easier. But yeah, so I've heard with the pressure washer lads, a lot of them saying the work is drying up compared to what it was last year. And I know a lot of them, I keep talking about window cleaning. So window cleaning ain't that bad. And it can be a bit of an adrenaline rush, isn't it, when you're trying to get through your day and finish by 5 rather than 6:30 because things are going wrong and you're just bouncing from clean to clean. It feels like you're on the go all day non-stop, and I think some of them, they hate that kind of idea. It's like I've said with window cleaning, and I think it's like trying to sell that £1 hot dog. It just seems so cheap you can't do it, but if you get the right place, you can knock these £1 hot dogs out and make far more money than what someone else would think is possible. But it can go so against you as well because of the margins if you're in the wrong spot. So if you tweak things and get it right, yes, you work hard, but it can be worth it. I mean, I enjoy it anyway. I like it. It's good. Yeah, so has anyone else got any points or things they want to bring up? Questions, answers, anything to do with the old window cleaning, not just about getting customers. I know we're on different parts of the journey, like whether you're being fully booked or you're just starting out. I often look back and think the fun part is when you just start out, because you're so keen looking into everything to get your customers, that kind of stuff, and just analysing stuff all the time. Just never stop being like that, I would say, because you're going to lose customers here or there, and you're always going to have to gain customers, but keep you topped up at a level. But everything's just a juggling act, isn't it? But I do find word of mouth, and everyone's, I mean, even since I've been a young kid and you hear conversations your dad's having in a pub with someone else, it's always word of mouth is what gets you the best work and the good work. But it also means you've got to get your pricing right, which is what I've been a bit slow at getting there, but I'm getting there. Like I say, I've got to do these quotes. More confident doing these quotes now, pricing a little bit higher. Because you know you've got to, otherwise you're not going to succeed. You're going to go under. And I like working for myself. Yes, there's lots to do when you finish work. So I just seen your comment come in on the YouTube. Yeah, it's just here. It's not too long behind. Neil's just saying to me, get the right button. Get yourself a decent power wash setup. Utilize your window cleaning customer database. I am really toying with the idea, Neil, and obviously I'll take you up on your offer to come and clean me for the day, but I've got to get someone to drive the van and work with my son. We'll get Matthew insured to drive the van and work with my other son to come out. Excuse me. I don't get asked much to do pressure washing, that's the thing, but then again they don't know if I do that. Well, they know I don't do it, but it is something I've been thinking about. Or do I, like to say, stick with the windows and what I'm doing and get 2 vans? I think the biggest thing first is I've got to get a second van, because if I'm going to do pressure washing I'm going to need a second van anyway. And again, you're just going to get the busy period in the summer, I suppose, and it just die off over the winter. But the windows is going to be the bread and butter, that's for sure. But it is, isn't it? Once, because people know you, I could clean, say, a patio, but they know I'm going to be there next month to clean the windows. So if they're not happy, they can collar me. It's not like I've done a runner. So I suppose that goes in your favour as well. And I know Neil does a lot of pressure washing with your trailer setup and that, don't you, mate? And like I say, you've got lots of people working for you and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just you, like I say, you've got a customer base. They're already there, aren't they? Not that everyone's going to want it, but here and there some might. And as we all get older, we start relying on other people to do things for us, or pay for a gardener to come in because you haven't got the time to do it anymore, that sort of thing. So there's always going to be work there, always. Right, has anyone else got anything they want to talk about? I'm hoping it's been kind of helpful, and for you, Michael, really. When I saw your post, I think a lot of people reacted to it, trying to kind of cheer you up. But like I said, mate, you've done 25 years, so you've done a hell of a lot right, and you're still going. You've got to think what your business has been through in terms of all the troubles, recessions and things like that. You've seen it all off. You know what I mean, mate? And yeah, as we get older, I think we need to slow down a bit, make life a bit easier. But age is, like Ched said, is just a number. So you go as you feel, if that makes sense. I'm slowing down on me running, what I used to do. God. And drinking, by the way. I fancied Friday. I thought I'm going to get myself a beer. Didn't want to buy a beer, so I thought I'll have a bottle of wine. It took me 2 nights to drink a bottle of wine. I used to be able to drink 3 bottles of wine on a Friday and then go out. It's not worth it these days, the hangover and that. So, you know, you change. I don't miss it. Having a couple of ciders though, after me pizza. Right, lads, I'll probably draw it to a close then, and let everyone get on with their Father's Day and that as well, because we've all got work tomorrow. And rinse and repeat and crack on. Let the glasses out there, all needs cleaning. So I just seen the comment coming in, it'll pop up in a minute. Ah, Neil's just saying, son got you a bottle of Jack Dean is honey whiskey. Oh, Jack Daniels, sorry, honey whiskey. I've not had the honey one before, Neil. Seen it, but I've not had it. So you having that with Coke and that, are you, mate? Have a nice one, Mark. Have a good week, mate. Keep posting on your socials. Keep coming out with the YouTube videos as well, buddy. Right, I think it's about time then. Everyone cracks on drinking all the alcohol and everything that we've got. You have a nice weekend as well, Matt. Have a good one. Make use of the little time we got left until it's all back at work. Jack Daniels is dynamite. So have a good one. Stay safe out there on the glass. And take care. See you later, Paul. Have a good week.